Hello, GameBro Advance here, and today I want to make the case for why you should play Gunstar Super Heroes. If the name already sounds familiar, that's because Gunstar Super Heroes is a sequel to 1993's Sega Genesis hit Gunstar Heroes. Developed by renowned studio Treasure and released in 2005, Gunstar Super Heroes was a surprise announcement considering Treasure was infamous for not making sequels to any of their games. Nonetheless, the game launched to solid critical acclaim, sitting at a strong Metacritic score of 83 today. Unfortunately though, its positive reception was not enough to prevent the game from being viewed as a bust, with only 70,000 lifetime sales, against a handheld system with 80 million units sold. Anyway, let's get into it. The story of Gunstar Super Heroes picks up where the events of its predecessor left off. The original two protagonists, Red and Blue, representing the organization called the Third Eye, succeeded in stopping the Empire's God of Ruin, known as Gold and Silver, by defeating him on the moon, saving the Earth from destruction. The explosion from that battle resulted in the creation of 4 new moons, now orbiting the Earth. However, now a 5th machine moon has emerged. The Third Eye, under the lead of their commander Yellow, discovers this moon is part of the Empire's plan to resurrect the God of Ruin yet again, and a new generation of protagonists are enlisted to counter their plan. Codename Gunstar Super Heroes. There are essentially 5 stages, starting with Earth, on the Third Eye base, where the action begins. Each stage is broken out into multiple different sections that will eventually lead you to their respective boss. It does not take long to complete the Earth stage, but the nice thing is, from here, the game really opens up. After you defeat the first boss, you can take your pick at any of the 4 moons. I like the freedom here, allowing you to experience a different journey each playthrough. But let's talk about the action, since this is what this game is all about. If you're not familiar with the original Gunstar Heroes, it's probably obvious that you're going to be doing a lot of shooting, and that's the game's strongest trait. Both Gunstars have an arsenal of 3 different types of ammo. They've got their fire gun, their chaser gun, and each one has their own unique gun, with Red having a force gun and Blue having a lightning gun. This is cool because it gives them both a little bit of variety, and you will feel and see the difference depending on which one you're playing as. The game gives you the flexibility to toggle between any of your 3 weapons at any time. On top of that, it also allows you to fix your aim in one of 8 different directions, and you will find times where this will really come in handy when you are trying to maneuver while taking out enemies. At the top of your screen there is a large bar that looks like a health meter, but it's actually a supercharge meter. Each of your 3 weapons will build that meter up respectively while they are toggled, and when it begins flashing is when you can use that supercharge attack, which is great for clearing your screen of enemies or doing heavy damage to a boss. The actual health indicator is the number located at the top left, and the more damage you take, the more it will decrease, and once you've reached 0, you're dead. Shooting is just half the fun though. The combat also includes physical attacks, and there's quite a few of them, ranging from sword attacks to jumping uppercuts to slides to an assortment of various jump kicks. A big highlight for me is the level design and animation throughout. The Game Boy Advance has a lot of great looking titles in its library, but Gunstar Super Heroes has to be one of the best in that category. Even with how fast paced the action moves, there's no shortage of awesome scenery, dynamic backgrounds, impressive boss sprites, and so on. I'd also like to praise the soundtrack. Despite the lack of great sound hardware on the Game Boy Advance, the music here still totally rocks and synergizes well with the gameplay. One major letdown for me here though is the lack of multiplayer. If you watched my last video, you'll recall how I complained about that in TMNT as well. With an original Sega game like Gunstar Heroes being designed for co-op in mind, it's hard to understand how its follow-up would drop such an important feature when that technology existed for it. Another thing that annoyed me a little bit was how the game reboots every time you die. There's no quick restart at the beginning of the section you were just in. You don't even get sent back to the title screen. It's as if you're powering on the system all over again, which is strange and kind of an inconvenience, especially if you're dying a lot, which leads me to my next point. The game definitely offers a bit of a challenge, especially on hard mode. If you're just starting out, I don't think there's any shame in going with easy mode. However, there is incentive to play on hard mode in that the game provides you with more detailed cutscenes to help fill out the plot a little bit more. So if you want a full picture of the story here, you'll need to complete the game on hard mode. Overall, Gunstar Super Heroes is a superb pick for the nature of the Game Boy Advance. It's full of high energy, non-stop chaos in all of the best ways, and it doesn't take more than an hour or 2 max to finish. If you only have a few minutes here and there, you can save between sections of each stage and pick up right where you left off. I was able to find a copy of this game for about $40 on eBay, and as of today, it still hovers around that same price range. Unfortunately, Sega has yet to re-release this game digitally on any platform, which is disappointing. But if you're a hardcore collector, I would definitely recommend tracking this down, as it should be considered rare with only 70,000 copies out there. So what did you think? Have you played Gunstar Super Heroes before? Or how about Gunstar Heroes on Sega Genesis? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know what other Game Boy Advance games you'd like me to cover in future videos. Thanks for watching.